Did we really? Hey guys, it's finally here. I feel like I've pushed this video off so much, but today we are going to be talking about and reviewing NCT JNJM's debut with both sides. Before we get into it, like I've been doing a lot recently, I wanted to take a moment to thank you guys. The support for my past few videos has been overwhelming, which leads me to my other point. We hit 3,000 subscribers! What? It feels like just yesterday I was back in December posting that we hit 1,000. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. But alright, enough of that, let's jump right in. On January 26, 2026, my life was changed. SM Entertainment announced the official formation of their newest unit, NCT JNJM. Comprised by some of my favorite members, Jeno and Jaemin. To say I was excited was an understatement. In case you're new or haven't seen any of my videos from my last season of Wait's Winter Wonderland, during December I came out as a boy group fan, particularly NCT, and even more specifically NCT DREAM and NCT DoJaeJung. I'll get into why the latter is important later. In that video, I mentioned that I'm Jeno biased. I mean, he's my thumbnail for the video, and he's also the only member I've purchased a member-specific version for. Needless to say, I was very hyped, and as my love for the Dream Team grew, I also started to love Jimin. So the fact that they were debuting in an official duo subunit had me over the moon. Add to that, their non-BL wind-up, which I have yet to see, made me think, wait, is this gonna be like Red Velvet, Irene, and Seulgi? Will they push too hard and tilt? Will they flip the gaze? I had too many questions and too much excitement. But I was also a little wary of the subunit as I've been burned before. Enter the previously mentioned NCT DoJaeJung. Comprised of Doyeon, Jaehyun, and Jungwoo, this was the group that brought me back into the boy group sphere. I'm driving home from work, minding my business, when the most beautiful harmony hits my ears. Heavenly, smooth, addictive. First I loved it. The problem is what happened next. I tapped my CarPlay screen to exit Google Maps and I froze. The name stared back at me like a jump scare. NCT DoJaeJung. I was in danger. I'm stuck in 5 p.m. traffic and I made the catastrophic decision. I listened to the full mini album and every single song was good. They gave vocals, harmonies, genre diversity, ballads, mid-tempo grooves, sex appeal. I was eating the forbidden fruit like it was the garden of SM. And before I knew it, my finger betrayed my commands and hit add to library. That album has lived there ever since. I had this preconceived notion that all NCT was just cling clang bang insert high note. But then, I saw green-haired Mark and Smoothie and I was never the same. I listened to Dream /Scape. Then I listened to the studio album, their title tracks, their B-sides. And then, one night, at like 2 a.m., I did the unforgivable. I bought not 1, not 2, but 7 albums. I had fallen. If you want to hear the entire dramatic retelling, click the iCard to listen to it. But why was I afraid once more? Well, as good as their debut was, Perfume should have been titled The Mini Album, not the first mini album, because they never served again. It's been 3 years and I'm starving for a comeback. So, having an additional subunit added to the mix didn't really give me the best feeling. Because on the one hand, if it sucked, we're probably just gonna get the one and that's it. I can still love the members as a part of NCT DREAM and NCT as a whole without needing to stream the album. Plus, I know Perfume would be much more up my alley simply by the members' positions, vocalists versus rappers. But what if the album was as amazing as Perfume? Was I okay with knowing that this might be their one and only release? That was something I had to come to terms with. And come to terms with it I did, because I pre-ordered not 1, not 2, but 4 albums. Yeah, I couldn't decide which to get, and then I felt like I just couldn't leave the Jaemin versions behind. So I justified my purchase of both member versions. Now, when I pre-ordered, there wasn't the infamous Converse version, and even if it was available, they didn't make them big enough for me. For context, I wear a size 13. Men's 13 Nikes. So over $100 for an album that's main draw was something I couldn't wear and therefore probably wouldn't open was a hard sell for me. But regardless of all that, on February 23rd, 2026, NCT JNJM debuted with their first mini album and title track of the same name, Both Sides. The mini album consists of 6 songs and runs about 16-ish minutes. So let's get into it song by song. Both Sides. Starting off with the title track Both Sides. I will be fully honest. The spoken intro initially caught me so off guard and made me cringe a little. But now, once the song starts, I lock in and just say it along with him. That aside, the song was, to my surprise, really catchy. It talks about duality. Shocker. Besides having lethal face cards, hence being able to say their best side is both sides, it also expands on the idea of having 2 equally irresistible sides and also members. The song can be taken with a bit of a double meaning at times, with lines like, I don't need gentle than gentle, it feels like jump right upon it, and climb on, my nose bridge like a slide for you. Mr. Jeno, how do you know what I mean, people want to... Moving on. I found myself really enjoying the hip-hop direction the song has. I attribute that to it feeling a bit more retro-inspired, plus the piano throughout is stuck in my head. Additionally, I really appreciate that the song changes the instrumental vibe for the second verse, and that it goes for a bridge rather than ending it early. However, I do wish we got one final chorus, or we got like an instrumental dance break of sorts to round it out a bit. Because even though it's almost 3 minutes, I feel the song could have gone on for a little bit more. But still, overall, a great title track in my opinion. Idol. Next up, we have Idol, a more upbeat dance track that focuses on confidence and romanticizing the idol life. Heavy emphasis on that last part. Throughout the song, they really emphasize the sort of perks of being an idol, stating that they're loved worldwide, exceptional co-stars, exceptional fit, that their schedule is busy but they keep it chill. Some of these I guess refer more to their professionalism, but it is a very self-congratulatory song. Normally, if you've seen any of my other videos, this type of song irks me a little. It could be that I simply love the boys, but I also enjoyed this one. Not as much as Both Sides, but it's still definitely good. I really like the beat and the way the song flows through the verses and chorus. Plus, them spelling IDOL and the is stuck in my head. Similarly to the previous song, I also really enjoyed that they went for a bridge, because even though the song is really short, it fully meets the traditional pop structure. What It Is. Following that up, we have the seductively addictive What It Is. And let me tell you, wow! I loved this song before reading the translation, but when I read it, ooh, someone turned the temperature all the way up. This song combines more of an up-tempo R&B track with a really dreamy pre-chorus that my brain just loves. Lyrically, I was clutching my metaphorical pearls. If I thought Both Sides had some dirty or suggestive lines, this one, they're pretty much open with what their intentions are. Saying in the first verse, your gaze, your gestures, an invitation to my place, teasing me from the end of the room, babe. Yeah, a view I've never seen. I feel the spreading vibe. Yeah, what am I to do? I feel like that's pretty straightforward. During the pre-chorus, they embody the album's concept and name by saying, yeah, I got what you need. Again, brightly reveal another side of me, enveloping me more. Truly showing us their sensual side. But when I tell you nothing could have prepared me for the chorus, quote, when I look at you while biting my lips, you know it all without saying a word. Give me sweet and sour everything. You know what it is. Fingertip interlock all day. Every day it gets deeper. The temperature is dangerous, but you know what it is. And you know what? I agree. The temperature is dangerous. The second verse is even a bit more questionable, if you will. Quote, my breath touches you in the fast tempo. I like you. The senses of my body spreading from my fingertips. Get closer in a brief moment. Break that rule. My hands go faster in an instant. My eyes feel a different texture. But the cherry on top is the bridge. So much so that I'll read it in its entirety. I'll close my eyes. Do anything for you. In the frame. When you and I overlap, blurred boundaries, illusion, tension with no end in sight. Take it all. Take that. I don't want to stop that. Show you everything that I'ma do. I'm curious about what they're talking about, but I'll just leave it there. Hashtag. Changing subjects, we have Hashtag, a 2000s hip-hop song about the digital noise, public scrutiny, obsession, and labels placed upon the members. The song presents the listener with the perspective of the celebrity. If Idol was about romanticizing or glamorizing the famous life, this song showcases the other potential darker side of it. They talk about how people obsess over them. They check their quote-unquote tag every day and night to the point they lose track of time. However, the song also shows that the narrator, in this case the boys, want to be in people's mind and screens but still as themselves. Instead of conforming to what the public wants or perceives idols to be, they want the listener's timeline to be filled with them so they can keep it real. Even going as far as saying that they can't fake it, and if the public can't take it, they'll just have to deal with it regardless. On my first initial listens, this song wasn't one of my favorites. Now that I've read the lyrics, I have a new appreciation for it, but I also have some gripes thematically. I know what they're going for, but I wish they committed to one side or the other. I get that the whole thing is about both sides, but I think the song could have been more impactful if they fully unpacked either the being real and unable to fake their persona side, or the darker side of the industry with all of these comments and what these obsessive people do to idols. I understand, obviously, they probably couldn't do the latter one because they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them, you know? But still, I enjoy the song, and if I'm listening to the album all the way through, I won't skip it, but if it came on randomly, it might be a different story. Wind Up. Next up, we have their BL tie-in, Wind Up. For legal purposes, it is a joke. I don't believe the show is a BL, even if I wanted it to be. Also, now I kind of feel like a fake fan. I genuinely did not know until I started scripting this that this song was out for the drama. Like, I thought it was a cool nod to it since it shares the same name, but I hadn't read the lyrics, and since I haven't seen the drama, I was a little confused when I started my research. The song itself is a nostalgic feeling, upbeat hip-hop track about perseverance and self-belief. The lyrics compare the movement of raising your arm to throw a ball, aka the wind-up, to the courage and drive needed to face life and all its challenges, encouraging listeners not to worry and to throw the ball with all their might to shine and chase their dreams. It's a cute song with a cuter message, don't get me wrong, but personally, I feel like it's the most boring. I'm already not a fan of motivational songs like this one, so the nostalgic feeling was doing a lot of heavy lifting. After reading the lyrics, however, it made the song lose a few points for me. But again, I recognize this is my own character flaw and pre-existing preference. But like Hashtag, if I'm listening to the album, I guess I won't skip it. Sexier. Ending with a bang, we have Sexier, one of my favorites. Musically, the song is very bright with addictive synths, heavy 808 kicks, and a bouncy rhythmic groove that kind of reminds me of Carrot Cake by NCT DREAM. From the moment the song starts, I'm hooked. Make it sexy, yeah, 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 feeling sexy, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just so addictive. Lyrically, it talks about being out on the dance floor and being in their party flow. It describes a sort of growing attraction between the narrator and another person, concluding with the narrator stating they'll go wherever they lead. The hyperpop elements really emphasize the cheeky back and forth with this person. They even say in the chorus, quote, all night long, don't stop till you get enough. And they close it with, if you want it, you're getting bolder. Truly a standout track for me. Their vocal delivery combined with the beat makes me feel like dancing. The more sung verses with the punchy chorus is also perfection, and in this case, the shortness of the track makes me want to play it again and again. A perfect ending for a surprisingly really good mini. Final album thoughts. Well guys, if it wasn't already painfully obvious from the way I talked about most of these songs, I really ended up enjoying this mini. And honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised by just how conceptually solid the entire project feels. I know that sounds like I'm applauding the bare minimum, and maybe I am a little bit, but in the current K-pop landscape, it genuinely feels rare for an album to commit to its concept beyond the title track and teaser photos. A lot of projects nowadays feel more like playlists than albums. You get one song that establishes the theme, and then the rest is just whatever tracks were floating around the company vault. But with both sides, it actually feels like there was a clear creative direction from beginning to end. The themes of duality, image, confidence, attraction, performance, and perception show up repeatedly throughout the many and different ways. Even when the songs sonically shift between hip-hop, brighter dance tracks, and more sensual R&B moments, they still feel connected under the same umbrella. And to me, that's something worth appreciating. Do I absolutely, undeniably, 1000% love every single song here? No. There are definitely tracks I connect with more than others, and there are a few moments where my personal taste comes into play. Weirdly enough, I think that actually makes me appreciate the album more, because even the songs I'm less attached to, I can still understand their purpose within the project. Nothing here feels completely random or out of place. The song's diversity still feeds into the larger concept instead of fighting against it. And honestly, that level of cohesion is becoming kind of a dying art. It also helps that Jeno and Jaemin themselves feel fully committed to the concept. Whether it's the flirtier lyrics, the more confident and playful delivery, or the overall energy of the performances, it genuinely feels like they understood the assignment. This doesn't come across as NCT DREAM leftovers or a rush side project thrown together to keep fans busy. It feels intentional, like an actual subunit with its own identity and atmosphere. So overall, this mini is absolutely a win in my book. I had fun listening to it, I've gone back to several of the songs multiple times already, and most importantly, it made me excited about the possibility of what this duo could do in the future. Now, whether we actually get a future with this unit is another question entirely, because if there's one thing SM loves to do, is debut an incredible subunit and then leave them locked in the basement collecting dust for eternity. And unfortunately, my experience with NCT DoJaeJung has left me a little traumatized in that department. Which brings us to the question people ask every single time SM announces anything involving the letters NCT. Did we need another NCT? Honestly, I get why people ask that. At this point, the brand has expanded so much that every time a new subunit gets announced, the internet reacts like SM revealed the 7th Fast and Furious sequel. It's always another one? Who asked for this? How many more can they possibly make? And to be fair, valid. Because when you keep expanding a brand this much, there is the risk of oversaturation. You run the risk of units blending together, concepts becoming repetitive, or releases starting to feel more like content quotas rather than actual artistic ideas. And I think that fear is part of why I was instantly hesitant about JNJM. Not because I don't love Jeno and Jaemin, clearly I do. I bought 4 albums. 4! Financial irresponsibility aside, my fear was more so, what can this duo offer that feels distinct enough to justify existing? And honestly, after listening to both sides, I think they answered that question pretty well. Because what surprised me most about this mini wasn't necessarily that it was good. I expected it to be at least decent considering the members involved. What surprised me was that it actually felt fresh. It had a clear identity, it leaned into a more playful, flirtier hip-hop and R&B inspired sound while still feeling cohesive conceptually. It didn't just feel like NCT DREAM but removed the other members. It actually felt tailored to them. And I think that's ultimately where I stand with the endless NCT expansion. I don't care how many subunits SM makes as long as they justify their existence creatively. If the music is good, the concepts feel intentional, and the members are being given an opportunity to show different sides of themselves, then why would I complain? Especially in a K-pop landscape where a lot of releases lately feel algorithmically engineered for TikTok clips and shock value, if another NCT unit means we're getting solid mini-albums with actual concepts and not brain rot songs, where do I sign? Now, obviously, there's still the concern of sustainability, because like I mentioned earlier with NCT DoJaeJung, SM has a tendency to debut incredible subunits and then act like they never existed again. And that's honestly my biggest fear here. Not that JNJM is unnecessary, but that they'll drop one pretty strong project and then disappear into the SM basement for the rest of time. because this mini genuinely feels like a strong foundation. There's enough here stylistically and conceptually to build on. You can push further in the sensual R&B lane, the playful hip-hop lane, or even lean harder into the duality concept that the album keeps referencing. The potential is there. So no, I don't think the issue is whether we needed another NCT. The issue is whether SM is actually willing to nurture the units they create instead of treating them like limited edition collectibles. Because if the music stays fresh, I'll absolutely support it. I do not care. Put them in another unit. Make NCT HOA, NCT DMV, NCT Costco Wholesale. If the songs are hitting, I will unfortunately be seated. Even if I haven't heard all of the songs from all the subunits, I can still check it out. I'm not against it. So there it is. After so many delays, it's done. I hope you guys enjoyed my takes, and also if you'll allow me a moment to be a little sappy for a sec. If you're watching this when it comes out, well, I don't know if I'll be able to get this out the day it's supposed to, but if you're watching this on May 5th, it marks 1 year from the day that changed my life a little bit. On this day last year, I posted my Future of Red Velvet video. That video single-handedly lit a fire under me and gave me the final push I needed to go into commentary. Back then, I was hovering at around 500 subscribers, and fast forward to now, we just hit 3,000. It genuinely amazes me the amount of support and lovely comments I've received, as well as negative ones. But to be able to look back and see how much has happened in 1 year makes me so proud. But enough about that. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a video. Tell me in the comments down below what was your favorite song off the mini album, and what do you think the future holds for the subunit? Personally, I would love if they had a comeback, however down the line that is, even though I know it's unlikely. But remember that I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!